welcome back to another episode of the group chat where myself and Phil Lumen will break down everything that kind of happened over the weekend, over the last month as well, since it's the 1st of October today. So we've got the whole of September to break down, and we've got a whole lot of stuff that we are going to look at as well. We've got Rugby Championship obviously has come to a close. We are going to give out a report card for each of the teams. Well, I'm going to give out a report card. And I'm going to see if you agree or disagree with me, Phil. NPC, we've got one more Ranfurly Shield challenge. Tasman taking on Auckland. Auckland taking on Tasman, I should say. That'll be a good game. The AFL Grand Final was held at the MCG over the weekend. Swans and Lions. And then, of course, we've got the NRL Grand Final this weekend between the Storm and Panthers. And to round off the month of September, we're going to have not just a player of the week from the Premier League, but we're going to do a combined sort of team of the month, a starting 11 team of the month.
Okay.
But yeah, to get started, before we kick things off, Phil, how was your weekend? Did you have a highlight? Was there anything that grabbed your attention? Stuck out to you? Did you get up to anything interesting?
Saturday was stacked of sport, probably the most stacked 24 hours.
We keep saying this, eh?
AFL leading into the Rugby Championship, the All Blacks Argentina game.
Mm-hmm.
Then you had the NRL prelims. Then you had there was a Premier League game on that same night, and then that Sunday morning was UFC Fight Night. So that for me was fantastic. Just parked up.
Yeah.
Consecutive back-to-back games. So a couple highlights, really, I guess. But I would say the main one, Brisbane Lions, the underdogs, $2.10. Yes, please.
Yep.
Coming through with not only a victory, but a massive result.
Not only a victory,
just a whitewash.
Freaking pumped them.
Yeah. So
although Sydney looked like they kind of took the first quarter, or they're up for it.
They were looking competitive in the first quarter.
To say they were competitive for the last 3 quarters would be the biggest lie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lions too good.
So you have an Aussie flatmate, and he was pretty keen on. He's from Geelong. He was pretty keen on the AFL. Did he have any reactions or anything to that? What did he have to say about the game as a whole?
We were talking about it before, and we were like, with how the NRL's been and everything, it would be cool to see a really close game. Obviously, relatively indifferent. Obviously, we were backing Brisbane, but ultimately kind of indifferent. Just wanted a good game. And it was a blowout. It was the one thing that we didn't want. But in saying that, it was way more entertaining than what we could have hoped for. Usually your blowout is quite boring. This still felt competitive, and Brisbane were just playing so well and defending so well.
Yeah.
Every time the ball went into that 50, they were just cutting them down. That it was still entertaining enough to watch the whole thing. So
yeah, it's not like Sydney just went away, right? They just kept fighting.
Yeah, they did.
It's a grand final. You got to try to stay in it as much as you can. So
and just having Brisbane Lions pumping those 6-pointers back to back,
and how was Katy Perry? Did you watch her performance?
Not bad, actually.
Yeah.
It was a surprise. I just chucked it on, and then she was there starting to perform middle of the field.
You know she was
I didn't know. I didn't even know.
So she's in the middle of the MCG.
I was like, cool.
Performing in front of that.
Yeah.
How many does the MCG hold?
It's like 100K.
Yeah, it's a good crowd. And how did the crowd look?
Yeah, it looked unreal.
Yeah.
Would love to have been there. I reckon it looks so good. Have to go to the MCG.
Oh yeah, for MCG
on the bucket
for
list.
either the Boxing Day test or an AFL Grand Final.
Too good.
I think I'd probably do both. I'd go to a Boxing Day test first. I think it's 2027. The Black Caps have lined up a Boxing Day test.
Oh yeah.
In Oz. So.
Are you sure you want to watch the Black Caps?
Yeah, go support
Really?
the lads. I mean, they stink. Ugh. They got rolled by Sri Lanka. I don't know if you saw that.
I did see that.
My goodness. Sri Lanka, too strong. Scoring 600 or something in the first dig. They declared when... Don't ask me who it was, but they were on 183. And I was like, surely, you're only 3-4 down. Just let him get his double ton. But no, they declared, I guess they wanted as much time to bowl against New Zealand as possible to take 20 wickets. And they did not even need the full 3 or whatever days were left because we got rolled for 80 and then rolled again. So
that's a bit embarrassing, really, isn't it?
But by the time 2027 rolls around, we'd have bled some new young bucks.
Yeah.
We'll go have Will O'Rourke looks young. leading the seam attack. Tim Southey will be out. And we should have a good team to hopefully take on the Aussies in Melbourne. But, yeah. And then MCG for AFL Grand Final.
It was almost like a Super Bowl halftime show with Katy Perry opening and that pregame. I was
Did
like,
they
what
roll
the hell?
everything in and out? Like they did? Yeah?
What do you mean?
Like stage set up?
Oh, yeah, it's a massive stage.
Yeah.
It's huge. Obviously, the orange high vis came out. I don't know, all the dancers and the typical orange for whatever reason. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I would normally hate on Katy Perry. I actually enjoyed it. It was good. It was
Normally,
good.
you don't really like Katy Perry?
No, not normally. No,
Not really into the fireworks?
no. I wouldn't have gone out of my way
Not a
to watch the pregame.
Paper bag?
I just turned it
flying
on.
through
I
the
love
wind?
paper bag though, but plastic bag.
Oh, it's
plastic bag.
Yeah, more of a Katy
They
Perry
did have
fan
kind
than
of they did have kind of plastic bags in their little dance routine. There was like these massive silver inflatable balloons. I was like,
Did
yeah,
she
close
sing
enough.
fireworks?
Yes, fireworks.
Yeah, no.
And some other Tina Arena,
What?
whoever that is.
Tina
Yeah.
Arena.
Yeah, some older lady.
She was a singer.
Was she? Yeah. Anyway.
I have no idea. That's what I'm asking.
Yeah. Well, apparently. Yeah. So I think some of the older fellas appreciated her coming out and doing some songs together. So.
Some of the older fellas did
Yeah.
that.
Some of the fossils around the office are like, "Oh yeah, how good was Tina Arena?
how good was
I'm
Tina?"
like, who? Who was that lady? It's like my mum coming out onto the stage. I was like, what the hell? But yeah,
Wow.
cool nonetheless.
Crazy that they got Katy Perry there, to be honest, because I didn't realize that it was that big, or for like to get Katy Perry there. I mean, she's a worldwide superstar.
Yeah.
Get her to do the. Did they do?
I thought they'd do
anything-
something at halftime.
Yeah,
but I
anything
didn't realize
between the
it'd be.
second and third quarter.
No, we just had 7 ads. You know, the company
You counted
7.
them? Oh,
Yeah, it was really weird. We just had a bunch of Australian ads.
I thought you counted the amount of ads.
No.
7 of them.
No, it was always like some 7 advertisement or 7 plus or 7 news, but we couldn't actually watch it because it was Australian broadcasted and they played music over the top of it. It was a really
Yeah.
weird experience.
They do that with the NFL a lot,
Mm.
actually. Like, as soon as the game will end, it'll be a reporter will go up to say Patrick Mahomes to interview him, and it will cut to commercials for us, and then they'll go back to the stadium, and obviously some reporters talking over top of it, but all we're getting on our screens is just the visual of the stadium, and it's just dead silent because they can't hear it.
Yeah. And then we get the same 3 ESPN ads over and over
my
again.
God, it does
Tina Arena is an Australian singer, which is why we don't know who she is. 56 years old.
Australian, that's
Shout out.
why.
She was good, though. Great to see that.
Well, for me, I didn't actually get up to a lot on the weekend. Obviously,
No highlight?
well, I think for the highlight could be seeing how sick the stadium looked for the All Blacks Australia game.
Yeah,
Like,
packed out.
the crowd looks loud. I really wanted to go,
Mm.
but I couldn't justify it. And after seeing it, I wish I went.
Yeah.
So the crowd looked loud. They were singing Sweet Caroline. They were doing everything. I could hear it through the TV. It looked very good.
Mm.
So I did wish I got around it.
Decent evening. Wasn't too horrific. in
No,
terms
yeah,
of
decent
weather,
conditions.
so,
I
yeah.
heard Jeff mention that at
Yeah.
the start of his commentary.
Yeah.
Decent conditions, and obviously a pretty passionate haka to send off Sam Cane's 100th,
Yep.
and probably TJ's last game.
Yep.
Or on home soil at
on
least.
soil, yeah.
Whether he goes on the Northern Tour.
It was a weekend of
sure.
landmarks in the Rugby Championship, really, wasn't it?
It was.
Sam Cane, 100th game.
Yeah.
TJ Perinara, last home game. Then you had Eben Etzebeth getting the most capped Springbok of all time.
Yeah, breaking that record.
Then you had the All Blacks breaking the cake tin curse.
Yep.
It was a weekend of records.
Yeah.
In the
And,
championship.
Speaking of records, I do want to mention this just because I am purely broken.
Mm.
I ran a PB half marathon for the first time yesterday,
Nice.
and I'm feeling it today.
So
And
there you go.
especially
That's the
during our
highlight.
futsal game.
There you
So the highlight could be completing my first ever half marathon,
Mm.
and it was just spontaneous going out and doing it on a nice Monday evening around Eastbourne.
Nice.
But
Just like that.
it wasn't meant to be, but we did it. So hey, had a little swim after. It was nice,
Very nice.
and then get in the hot tub and have some dinner. Beautiful.
Nice.
But
Spoiled.
let's dive into the Rugby Championship, and obviously South Africa. You're
Yes.
lifting the trophy.
Yes, please.
New Zealand in second
Mm-hmm.
through point differential.
Yep.
Argentina third, Australia fourth. Now I've given them all a report card
Mm-hmm.
and a little sentence about them, so I want to see what you think about that.
Okay.
we'll start off with the champs, South Africa.
Yeah, boy.
Do you want to take any guesses, or do you just want me to tell you?
It's an A.
It's an A with a little minus in front of it.
Take an A minus. Yep.
I think. So I wrote
Definitely
down
not an A plus. Definitely
easily the best team and a cut above the rest, and it just felt like everyone was chasing them.
Yeah.
Was my sentence. Not an A because of their little blemish against Argentina.
Mm.
An A plus, I think, would have seen them dominate the All Blacks and go undefeated.
Yeah.
Where I feel like the All Blacks, yes, we went to South Africa, yes, we lost both games. The first game was tight. The second game, South Africa kind of worked it out a little bit more, but they didn't look unbeatable.
Yeah.
To get an A plus. So for me, an A minus. How do you feel about that?
Yeah. Well, I said an A.
Yep.
So I think that's reflective. They went 5 from 6. Mm-hmm. Losing the one game when they took that weaker side that we were a little bit, or I was worried about, against a very good Argentina side at home. So I think overall, the way we played, we experimented with plays, line-out plays, we experimented with players, we experimented with the young guys coming up.
Yeah.
And then you obviously got the big win to tie the cup away, finish at the top of the table. So,
and you've got the Freedom Cup for the first time in 18 years.
Yeah.
So it's a hell of an effort.
Yeah, an A minus I'll take. I'd probably still give them an A, everything considered.
I do like the experimentation they went through and just the way they're playing their rugby.
Yeah.
I was kind of basing it off results.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if you take all that stuff in, you could make an argument.
It was exciting. It was exciting rugby to watch. It's not the usual South African tactic sort
100%.
of style of play. So, yeah.
I really enjoyed watching South Africa throughout, even their game against Ireland and leading into the Rugby Championship. They're always a good watch.
Yeah.
And the likes of Sasha and the other guys coming through.
Yeah, looking good.
Very fun. We'll move on to New Zealand since they were in second.
Yeah.
Another guess?
I would say maybe like a B minus.
I had them at a B, just a flat B. I thought we were really good in flashes, and I felt like we sorted it out and we proved what we can do in that last game against Aussie. Yes, it's against Aussie. And I felt like we went to South Africa, like I said before, South Africa didn't look beatable. We put up a good fight, especially in that first game. I thought we were really unlucky. But ultimately, a disappointing start to Razor's tenure. So my sentence I had was really good in flashes, disappointing start to Razor's tenure, a second-place finish going 3-3. And the only thing that stopped us from a B- was retaining the Bledisloe. And getting over that Westpac or Sky Stadium curse. That's where I sat with the ABs.
Yeah. I agree. I think B- is fair. A little bit disappointing from All Blacks sort of status.
To go 3-3.
3-3 is not great. You've done well to get second place, I thought, from where you guys were a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah. I actually thought Argentina were unlucky to not have second place there.
Yeah.
Speaking of, I actually had them graded above South Africa, weirdly enough.
An A.
Just an A. I think they've been amazing. Their passion elevates the game. They've beaten all three nations for the first time in the calendar year. First time ever they've done that. And I just think they stood up when they needed to stand up, and they delivered on some of the biggest stages. And it's something we are not used to seeing, or we're getting more accustomed to it with Argentina, but not week in, week out. But we started to see a little bit more this year, and I think the improvements that they've made throughout the last few years, and I think the way they took this whole Rugby Championship, I think they deserve an A.
I don't think I can give them an A.
It feels weird grading them above the champs.
Yeah.
So slightly controversial, but
maybe for me then B plus. But I can see where you're coming from. I thought overall they're probably more consistent than the All Blacks, where All Blacks look really, really good on attack.
Yep.
Their discipline was shocking in other areas that let them down. Argentina across the board, especially at home, looked really good. Yeah. Really, really good. Put in some great performances. The first time they've gotten 3 wins against all 3 teams in the championship.
Yep.
So definitely like notable, and it's great to see them coming up the ranks. To put them above Springboks though is crazy.
But like we expected the Springboks to be good. I didn't expect Argentina to come in and beat all three nations.
Yep.
And to arguably probably should have finished second only because they let a couple points slip in that last game against South Africa.
Yep.
To drop down to third.
Yeah, I think, and leading into that last game, they were the team that had the least amount of yellow cards. They were at 0, talking of discipline, which is why I agree with you in some aspects. But then that game, they also got 2 yellow cards, and one was upgraded to a red, in fact. So that let them down. If they had a stronger performance in the last game of the championship, I'll be more aligned with you. But that 48-7 smashing is
But I mean, the way they came back against Aussie, I mean, they looked average against Aussie when they were down 20-0 whatever in the first half, and then went and put 60 points on them. Ridiculous. Speaking of, you mentioned just before we started, do I know who's got the most, what team has the most yellow cards? And I said All Blacks. Who was it?
It's joint, All Blacks and South Africa, 7 yellow cards apiece.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say 5.
Yeah.
7 yellow cards. I mean, that last one for Caleb Clark at the end of the Aussie game, that was terrible, by the way. You heard Scott Barrett say, like, we had it in the first half, in the first 20 minutes when Aussie were dominating. We're under the pump. And the referee says to Scott, next one's going to the bin. We didn't spend any more time in our own 22 until the 60th minute of that game and gave away a penalty. And the ref goes, next one, he's in the bin. And it's like, are you kidding me? We haven't, and Scott said to the ref, he said, we haven't been down here this whole half. How are we saying the second penalty we give away down here is a yellow card? And unfortunately, Caleb Clark was on the end of that penalty, got the yellow card. But I don't know about that. I feel like that's just taking the whole momentum from the first 20 minutes. Taking that, I guess the penalty count did mount up down there at the start. But I think to then hold the All Blacks to whatever penalty you give away down here, from now on, doesn't matter if you spend 0 time in here for the next 60 minutes. From now on, if you give away a penalty down here, it's yellow card.
Any form of penalty, yeah. In saying that, though, so New Zealand 7, South Africa 7, Australia 3 yellow cards, Argentina 2 in that last game. In saying that, though, I do think, regardless of what the referee said beforehand, I think that he probably still gets a yellow card there because it's considered almost foul play. When they're on the counter attack, it's unfortunate, but in real time, it looks like he's kicking the ball away and then picks it up and then throws it to his back line from an offside position, which has stopped the counter attack. So they've gone, that's a straight yellow. Yeah, you've done that intentionally. On the replay, the ball kind of rolls to him and he happens to kick it and then pick it up. But either way, he's interfered with that play from an offside position. I still think he gets yellow regardless of anything before that.
So you reckon that was a yellow based on what he did? And
playing the ball from offside position, running back.
Kind of joint effort.
No, I don't think it's... No, I reckon that's still a chance. Just seeing that real time, I was like, he's kicked the ball out of the ruck running back. Accidental or not, and then he's gone and passed the ball to his team, which has stopped the counter attack. So
interesting. I didn't even.
It was just unlucky watching the replay because he obviously didn't mean to. But once he had kicked it, he's like, I'm gonna pick it up for some reason and throw it to my team. I was like, that's a bit silly. And he knew. You could see how furious he was. He was just like hitting his head, like, what did I just do? Like, you idiot.
I just took it straight. I was like, tunnel vision. The ref has said next penalty down here, no matter what it is.
I think
it's a yellow. So that's where I was coming from. But to your point, you're probably right. It probably was a yellow card regardless. But to think, like, if we gave away a penalty for being offside down there and he was going to give it a yellow, like, come on. You serious? Anyway, Australia. Do you want to guess at their leader grade?
Probably minus 106 on the point difference.
Close.
1 bonus point.
Oh, I thought you were going to give them 106 out of 100.
No, so I give them maybe like a D.
Oh, that's harsh.
Yeah. They went 1 from 6.
Yep.
They had, I think, 1 good performance in there. They were good in flashes.
Yep.
But those flashes didn't really amount to anything. If they were able to capitalize on these flashes of like that first 15-20 minutes against the All Blacks, I'm like, hey, they're looking good.
Well, there's that try they should have scored where Bowden Barrett lost possession.
Exactly.
Sliding
How
back
are you
over.
not scoring that?
You got to score that. Come on.
It's a D. So they have these really good moments. I'm like, they're looking decent. By the end of the game, it's like, no
Yeah.
contest.
Yeah. No, I gave them a C. I was probably a little less harsh, but coming from a very similar point of view.
Yeah.
I did say it looked like that they were improving towards the end there. They did look good for the second half of the first game against the All Blacks. They obviously were able to put up points against Argentina, but then forgot how to defend.
Lost 67-27.
So I agree. They showed good signs every now and then, but it just wasn't consistent enough. But I do think having Joe Smith there is a massive plus, and it's starting to look like he's working out his best combinations or the players that he kind of trusts more in each role. So I think going ahead to the Northern Tour, they can take a lot out of the last game too and started building on that. So that's where I landed on a C for them.
Yeah, they look good in flashes. They just need to be a bit more consistent, work better defensively, and they need to finish those chances because they're getting into good spots. It's just, good in small sections of the game, which is good to see. I think they're in a much better space now than what they were a year ago.
Yeah.
So,
and I think it just proves that rugby union's not dead in Australia, because it definitely felt like it could have been throughout that Super Rugby campaign.
Yeah.
But they were getting good crowds, and they're playing okay rugby every now and then, and it seems like it could be on the up.
Yeah.
So, just to recap there, we had South Africa at an A-, who won the comp.
You had South Africa at A-.
I had South Africa at an A-. I had Argentina at an A, finishing third, which in hindsight, New Zealand as a B, Australia as a C.
Yeah.
But overall, I thought it was a good rugby championship.
I enjoyed it.
So, we will go on. As a whole, who was your MVP for the rugby championship? Did you have a few nominees, or you landed on someone straight away?
There's a few. Like, again, it's like hot flashes.
Yep.
It's good moments. And again, there's players that, because all these teams are experimenting, they're not all getting a consistent run in. So players will have good moments, and then they're not played. Like Cheslin Colby, his stats were kind of out the gate every time he played, but he didn't play. I think he played like 4 games. So, Artie Savia, I have looked at, and I do think that his work rate kind of trumps. I looked a little bit at the stats. He had the most carries in the tournament with 89.
Okay.
He was second most in tackles won with 84 in total.
Yep.
Behind only Harry Wilson from Australia.
Oh, okay.
And Australia were on the defense a lot, so you can see that. So good on Harry with that. He had 86, so he was second equal as well in defenders beaten, which is insane.
Wow, really?
He had 17 defenders beaten. He was only behind who I talked about before, Cheslin Colby, who had 21. So he's up there, and he was obviously captain in the win against Argentina, keeping that Eden Park record, which I think was prolific.
Yep.
So for me, just with his work rate and all those stats mentioned, he's probably the MVP. In addition to that, it's not solely on Artie Savia, but New Zealand were the highest success rate with their scrums, 91%. So
our scrum did look good.
It looked really good. So yeah, he'd probably, if like guys like Peter Steph Dutoy played more, I would say he's up there in the rankings. But
see, I have him at probably top 3 at least.
Yeah. Considering
him as my MVP.
Yeah.
Because he had 4 Man of the Match awards.
Yeah.
In the games he did play.
True.
Well, so that's. I also see Khaleesi.
Yeah.
Unreal.
But again, didn't play every game.
A rogue shout, or a couple rogue shouts here actually. Caleb Clark had 6 tries.
Yep.
And
top try scorer. Was
unreal in the last 2 tests, I thought.
Yep.
Really, I think, has earned that number 11 jersey and made a massive impact for the All Blacks. Yep. When he was playing well, we looked a whole lot better.
Top 3 in meters gained as well.
Okay. I had Santiago Chocobares as well from Argentina. I think we had to show Argentina a little bit of love, especially after I gave them an A. I think him running in the centres, just that, the back line with Argentina, kind of, what's the word, being like the veteran or just kind of leading that back line. Hell of an effort from him.
Yeah.
Cheslin Colby was the most electric player on the field every 100%. Time he stood on the field. I didn't have Artie Savia in there, but you make some good points. So, yeah, I struggled to finish on an MVP. Also, Cody Taylor looks like he's in the best form of his life.
Yeah.
What about Ox?
Yeah. Had a great championship, hella consistent.
Yeah.
Same with Malcolm Marks, hella consistent. But again, I just think overall work rate, Adi Savia was everywhere, and the stats kind of speak to that.
Where was Peter Steph Dutoit in any of those stats? Because I think if there was someone I was leaning to out of my list, it would have been him. But I'm happy to take an Adi Savia Rugby Championship MVP if that's what you're serving.
He was 4th on carries. He was 5th equal on tries, and he didn't even play every game. I assumed if he did, I don't know. Defenders beaten, he's not in the mix. Ibn Etzebeth, lineouts 124. Ruan Noche from Springboks won 32 lineouts. I thought every time Ibn Etzebeth came on off the bench, we just won every lineout. He was stealing everything, which was insane.
His impact was unreal.
Yeah.
Crazy.
But yeah, I just don't think Peter Steph had enough game time this championship, unfortunately, to be more prolific. But when he is on the pitch, you notice him for sure. I think he's a very scary player.
Yeah, he's not someone you want to really come up against.
No. DMAC also had the most points, which I did not expect. But again, I guess that's because Springboks were experimenting with 3 different 10s in rotation. Sasha Pollard started.
A couple different fullbacks as well, wingers.
Yep.
So
Lebok started, so you had 3 different people in the mix there. I think Jesse Creel had the most clean breaks with 8. Will Jordan was 2nd. With Kurtley Orenser, and then Caleb Clark was 4th there.
How good was Will Jordan as well?
Insane, especially in that last game. Standout for sure.
Yeah. Just so slippery. He just finds his way through gaps that you should not be allowed to find your way through, and then he just accelerates, and no one can keep up. Ridiculous.
Bit like a Colby, I reckon.
Yeah.
Being able to find that space, being able to,
But he doesn't look as fast. Colby looks quick. Like his mannerisms, everything he does just looks quick.
Yeah.
Will Jordan doesn't look as electric or as quick as, I don't know. You know what I mean?
Until he's in space, then you like,
and then he's just
how's he going to get caught? Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you have a definitive MVP then?
I think I was leaning towards Peter Steph Dutoit, but I'd be happy to land on Adi Savia if that's where you think you want to go.
Yeah. I just don't think Dutoit played enough games.
I also think, to that point of having a South African as the MVP, it's hard to pick MVPs on losing teams. You think about NBA finals or Super Bowl MVPs or AFL, the Norm Smith. It's hard to pick
in that case, it's hard to pick an MVP in that squad because of the amount of rotation that was in it. Not everyone played every game, So.
Yeah, that's true. Let's go, Adi Savia.
Cool.
Sweet. Adi Savia is our Rugby Championship MVP. Nice. Okay. We've talked Grand Final.
Yep.
Obviously, if you listen on Friday, you would have got the group chat assist and $20 bonus back or bonus cash if your head-to-head bet loses. So if anyone out there, I don't know who would have, but if anyone decided to back the Swans, you would have got some bonus cash back for that.
And if you backed the Lions, you would have got some moolah.
If you backed the Lions, like
you should have.
You would have got paid. So,
210.
Was there anything else you wanted to add on the AFL Grand Final?
No, I think we covered it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right, well, to the next Grand Final then, or preliminary finals first.
Yep.
The NRL.
Yep.
You watched both games on the weekend?
Yes, majority of both games.
That Storm game, I thought we were in for it. You and I both had Storm 1-12 there, and I thought we were in for a shot, especially after the yellow card straight away, and then the comeback at the start of the second half to get back within a try.
Yeah, that was the perfect start to a prelim. First tackle of the game, yellow card, HIA playing the ball backwards. You're like, oh shit, it's on here. Roosters had insane momentum for that first 10 minutes. They had about 3 penalties inside like 5 minutes. They then went for the 2 points, which was weird. When you had such huge momentum to take the 2, go for the try, go 6 points up, and then they ended up coming back and scoring anyway.
Yeah.
So they went, 8 points up?
Yeah. I get it though, like in a final, points on the board. Both teams, Penrith and Sharks, both took the 2 early on as well.
Yeah.
So I get that, but momentum-wise, I do agree.
If you're playing against a full team, sure, in a final, but you're a man up. Take the advantage.
Also, to beat the Storm, you got to score tries.
Yes.
You're not going to win by taking a penalty.
No, because they will outscore you.
Yeah, 100%.
So I was like, man, the 1 to 12 is looking good here. Or
So
even
high.
people that jumped on the Roosters at $3.40. I'm like, oh, they'll be a little bit happy right now.
Yeah. I was in the same boat. I was like, shit, Storm 1 to 12. Are they even going to win here?
Yeah. In fact, I think they even missed the conversion, so they only went up 6-0. So, and then it was just a slaughter from then on, I reckon. Pappenhausen, Jerome Hughes was insane. Cameron Munster, insane.
Yep.
Ryan Pappenhausen just finding gaps. Pappenhausen got 2, Hughes got 3, Munster got 2.
Yeah.
Just finding gaps from nothing.
Up in big times.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Melbourne at home is going to struggle to beat them.
Yes. And then the Penrith game. Cleary, his shoulder.
Ooh.
Is that an issue going into the grand final?
Yeah, it's a worry for them, I reckon. Because you saw him like wincing and grabbing his shoulder. Yeah. And he's just the crucial player of that team, piecing everything together.
Well, they just look like different gravy when he's at the helm.
He'll probably play.
Yeah. I'd be surprised. I'd be very surprised.
But he's not going to want to get hit.
Play.
Yeah. So I think he'll have a target on him more so than what he normally would have. They're going to take that shoulder off. I think the Storm.
Yep.
But yeah, Sharks held their own for most of that game. Unfortunately,
lots of people didn't even think they would score a try.
Yeah, if Panthers held them to 0, it would have been huge. But you know, they at least in that first half, they were really in the mix. They're low scoring.
Yeah.
But just fatigue, I think Panthers were able to just outplay them by the end.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I do have some moments from the grand finals. I'm just going to make sure from 2010. No, there's one in there, sub 2010.
Ooh, okay.
But I do, before we jump into that, early pick for grand final winner. No score, just a winner. Storm or Panthers? Who do you think?
I think Storm.
Storm? Yeah, I'd like to see
Who do you
Storm
think?
win it. Yeah, I think Storm look very good.
Even though Nelson's been suspended for the 4 games,
call,
he'll miss the grand final. I think that's
a judiciary hearing this morning.
Huge loss. I do still think Storm get the job done.
Especially if they can target Cleary and minimize his impact on the game.
Yeah, I do just think he might be a little bit off the ball, not wanting to get hit and sort of not be able to get into the game a little bit, maybe.
I might bet on the Panthers and back the Storm. Because that seems to be a theme at the moment. Whatever I say, doesn't matter what I say, wherever my money goes, that's where it ends. But okay, so
should be close.
Yeah, hopefully it's a close one, and I expect it
I reckon
to
it will be.
All right, I've got 5 moments from the grand finals. They're not necessarily your top 5, top 5 best moments ever.
Okay,
but I've just got 5 moments, like standout moments. And I want you to blind rank them without what's coming next.
Okay. Well, I've got a number 1 in my head already. So if the number 1 isn't in that top 5, I'm going to be gutted.
Interesting.
So let's see what you have.
We shall see. The first one I'm going to give you is Felt's try in the 2015 Grand Final.
Number 1. Against Broncos, number 1.
To set the game up for Golden Point.
Yep. Oh, is there more to it? Or was it just Felt's try?
It's just the try to set the game up for Golden Point.
Cowboys scoring at the death, Morgan to Felt scoring in the corner, and then Thurston missing the kick. Going into Golden Point, they kick the ball. Ben Hunt knocks the ball on straight away, and then Thurston, after attempting like 2 or 3 times, having to pass the ball away, eventually gets the drop kick. 2015 Grand Finals, number 1, straight away.
So the moment is just the try.
I don't care. Okay. To send it to Golden Point, number 1.
Okay. So
straight away.
Golden Point, number 1. Cool.
That was insane. Morgan's like backhanded flick pass as well. Yeah. Thurston almost like shoving the ball on, then having to do like a 360 spin and still getting the ball out too. Number 1.
Okay.
Easy.
Okay. Wow.
I'm stoked that's there. Because I generally think that is, even though it's just the try at the death, I still think.
I mean, the whole grand final could be the best grand final, especially because it was Cowboys' first ever win. Next one I'm going to give you is Cooper Cronk farewells the Storm in style, beating the Cowboys 34-16 in the 2017 Grand Final.
Is this the one where he's kind of injured?
It's farewell to the Storm by winning the chip.
Oh, wait. Is this not when he was playing for Roosters?
No, for the Storm. He then played for the Roosters and beat the Storm.
I remember that one. So what was this?
So Cooper Cronk's farewell game with the Storm. They beat the Cowboys in the 2017 Grand Final.
I don't really know for this one, but I do like Cooper Cronk. I'm going to say 4.
4? Okay.
So 1 and 4 in the book.
Yep. Benji Marshall's flick pass in the 2005 finals, where the Tigers beat the Bulldogs 30 points to 16. You know that flick pass?
Full field try, too.
Yep.
There might be a number 2 contention for me.
Number 2?
Oh, well.
I like this game.
Well,
I feel like you're on the hot seat.
It depends. It's a full field try. It's a flick pass to finish them off.
Yep.
And it was against the Storm, was it?
Bulldogs.
Oh. If it's the try I'm thinking of, then yeah, we'll put it at 2.
At 2? Okay. What about Villavelo running 90 meters to beat the Panthers in the 2020 Grand Final? Score the try.
This is the interception?
It might have been, yeah.
If that's
the nail in the coffin
against
the Panthers in 2020. The Eagles drop-off has got to be studied.
If it's the Vunivalu interception, I put it 3. That's also a full field try, so yeah, it's up there.
So you've only got
5.
Oh, you got to kick yourself.
That's not 2023 Grand Final, is it?
2 moments from the same game. This is why I stressed just the moment. Jonathan Thurston field goal. To give the Cowboys their first ever win in 2015. The field goal moment.
Okay.
Is your number 5.
Damn. That's okay. That's okay.
Yeah?
I think so. I think the try was more peak. And I do think Ben Hunt would have preferred Thurston to get that kick over anyway,
100%.
rather than it hitting the post and him knocking the ball on.
Yeah.
But I do think the amount of times they tried to get that drop kick off, and you're like, oh my God, is this ever going to happen? Then they even passed to Thurston, and then Thurston passed it back. And I think that's okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right. So you're not too mad about your list?
No. If it was the 2023 Grand Final,
yeah,
that comeback from the Panthers,
yeah,
being down, 24-8?
Yeah.
Then I would have been more cut that wasn't in my top 3. But I'm glad that I've got the 2015 try at number 1 at least.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. Good call. Good
Damn,
call.
not bad. Not
nice. Bad. Okay, so there's that list. And hopefully we may see another moment this weekend that could go down in history. That would be cool.
That would be sick. Golden Point, come on.
Oh, yeah, another Golden Point game to finish off the season.
Golden Point, Cleary goes off injured. Oh, no. Oh, no.
Storm win it.
Schneider. Imagine a Schneider drop kick. Of all sort of, I don't know, cometh the man, cometh the hour. Cleary goes off and they're like, oh, we're done for. And then he just slots something ridiculous.
I mean, he definitely, he's earned his flowers this season.
He has, actually. He has.
For Cleary when he's been out. So it could almost be fitting that he wins it for the Panthers.
I don't know. These Storm boys looking fresh.
They do. We're going to move into Premier League. And really quickly, Player of the Week. I feel like it's hard to argue with a 4-goal game.
Cole Palmer. Yep.
Any arguments there?
No. First player ever, 4 goals in the first half, right?
Is
the Premier League history. Yep.
Wow.
And he's also in and amongst a very exclusive list of 3 hat-tricks for Chelsea.
Really?
Yeah. I think there's about 4 people in there, like your Lampards, your Drogba, and someone else.
Yeah,
so he's already in that mix,
wow,
which is insane, and obviously the first person ever for 4 goals in a first half. So, yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Player of the week for sure.
Midweke, most assists to a player this season. Cole Palmer and Midweke. Nico Jackson maybe are tied at 3. I think Nico Jackson's assisted 3 of Cole Palmer's goals. Cole Palmer's assisted Midweke's 3 goals, obviously. So Cole Palmer having a standout year, carrying on from his momentum from last year.
Do you think his brain just hasn't developed enough to understand what pressure is? Because it just seems like he just takes every single opportunity and he's just like,
Yes.
And he's so blasé about everything. It's like, oh, you just got this record. He's like, oh, did I?
I
Yeah.
did see a meme, and it was like, oh, being an idiot or being so dumb must help at the highest level because you just can't comprehend the pressure that you're under. So stepping up to take a penalty, he's just like,
I don't know if he's dumb. I just think he just doesn't have that part of his brain that's like, okay, I need to be nervous and like this is a big moment. He's just like, oh, it was just another moment of my moments. I play football.
He's pretty cold.
Yeah,
you know, a little shiver.
Yeah.
Nah, he's pretty electric. So, a team of the month. You heard Brentford.
Yeah.
But we're gonna go on pick an 11.
Individuals, yeah, I misunderstood that question completely.
Can you quickly tell me why Brentford were your team or club of the month?
We talked about this last week, and if there was a bet to have Brentford score in the first minute of the game again, my God, I would have hammered it because they did it. I was too scared to. I knew they would be the first one scoring, and they did.
Yeah.
So they've gone consecutively 3 games, scoring in the first minute of the game, 2 of them in Buemo volleys. They are my team of the month. What's better than 3 goals in the first minute of every single game they've played? Like, it's crazy.
Very fair. Hard to argue with that. I didn't have a club of the month, but I do have a team of the month.
It would have been Arsenal, so I'm glad we skipped that question.
If we beat City, huge argument for Arsenal. But I think we're going to go a 4-3-3 formation with a cam.
Okay. I'll try to visualize it. I'm a visual learner.
So, in goal, I did have Onana in there, but after a
top
3-0
defeat
to Tottenham at home, I'm not sure if I can put him in over David Raya.
Okay, I don't mind David Raya in there. What I would say to you is if Onana wasn't in between the sticks there, we lose 6-0.
Exactly. And you probably lose a couple other games along the way as well.
Yes.
So, I mean, he's...
Bit fair, yeah. I'm happy for David to be in there. He's been good. He's been a standout.
Cool. We'll lock David Raya in. Centre backs, do you have any input here? Do you want to see anyone? I've gone for both Virgil and Saliba.
Can I just say, Van der Ven was insane for Tottenham.
Yep.
And he is so unbelievably quick. The way he's able to chase down Garnacho, for example, is absolutely incredible. He is a standout centre-back for me. I would want him in my team personally.
Tottenham actually dominated last month's team of the month. I was having a look at...
Did they?
Yeah. They were pretty good.
So... I mean, maybe there's an argument to shift Van der Ven out to left-back if you really wanted, but I just think
we could put him at left-back.
He is so good not to have in that team.
We could definitely put him at left-back.
Okay.
Should we do that?
Okay. I think that's fine.
Cool. Have him at the left-back position. And we happy with Saliba? I think Saliba's been better than Gabriel.
Yep.
So
Saliba is, he's in my fantasy as well. I like Saliba. I think he's consistent.
And then Virgil is just Virgil.
Very strong.
Flying, so.
Yep.
And I think, did they keep a clean sheet on the weekend?
Liverpool.
Yeah.
I believe so, yeah.
What's that, like their 4th clean sheet in 6 weeks? Maybe even their 5th. I think the only goal they've conceded is that 1-0 loss to Nottingham. No, they conceded
Forest
against Wolves.
They did?
Yeah, this week, 2-1.
What was the... 2-1.
Yep. But away from home, they've conceded 2 goals through 6 games. So,
yeah,
testament to Virgil at the back leading the show.
Damn.
Right back. Any ideas? I kind of struggled with right back.
Yeah.
You could go, is Pedro Porro right back from Tottenham?
I don't mind him. I wouldn't say he's necessarily a standout. I would almost prefer him as Rowie, to be honest. Okay. But I'm thinking right backs. I don't... What about... I look to Fulham, and I still really like Tete, and I like Robinson.
Yep.
I would happily have either of those players in my team.
I think Robinson was in last month's one as well.
Yeah.
At left back though, but you kind of fit them in where you fit them in. So
Kyle Walker has been very solid. Yeah. He's a bit of a veteran. He can hit the ball. very hard. Maybe it is a Kyle Walker situation.
Yeah, we could go Kyle Walker.
Yeah, there's no real standouts yet for me.
No, I agree. Okay, so we've got our back five solidified then. We'll move into the midfield, and we're going to go 2 centre mids and a cam.
Okay.
So for my 2 centre mids, I've got Rodri and Enzo. I think City being City, Rodri he does injured, and he's probably gone for the rest of the season, potentially. Depending on if his ACLs are still a thing or not. But yeah, I think he's been pivotal in City's successes, and just continues to show that he is one of the best players in the Premier League. And then Enzo has captained Chelsea to who are looking like a top 4 team. And although the players may not be right behind him, and the fans might not be right behind him, he's delivering some good performances in that midfield as well. Do you have anyone else you want to consider for the midfield position?
Yeah, maybe the Enzo pick. I wouldn't say it's a surprise, but I do just wonder if there's someone more solid that we can chuck in there to help the cam out a little bit.
Well, you wait till you hear the cam.
It's Cole Palmer.
Yeah, it's Cole Palmer.
Yeah.
So the Enzo to Cole Palmer connection. Also, you can't really talk about your chemistry in your team of the season, but that was part of the reasoning.
Yeah, that's fair.
So Cole Palmer at cam.
Sure.
I did really want to put him at right wing, but I can't go past Bukayo Saka at right wing as well, and I wanted to fit them both in. So
I like Palmer at cam.
Cole Palmer at cam, Bukayo Saka at right wing. He's had an assist in every game this season.
Okay.
He's scoring goals. I don't know. The only other right wing probably would be Salah. That would, and Liverpool all doing all the right things. So maybe it is Salah, but I can't go past Bukayo Saka.
I don't hate it. Yeah, I don't hate it.
I am going to go to Liverpool though for the left wing.
Luis Diaz.
Yes.
Okay.
That guy has been absurd.
Yeah.
Said it before. He is everything you want in a winger at the moment, and he almost looks a little bit psycho. Like he is just going out there and he's blitzing players. He's strong. He's physical. He's got the footwork, pace, finishing. He's playing unbelievable at the moment.
Yeah, I like Luis Diaz a lot. He's coming out with a lot of energy. So yeah, slot him in there. The other person I was thinking, if you go Salah on right wing, I maybe have Trossard in that argument.
Yep,
he's been good, and I really liked him at Brighton in particular. So.
Yep,
I do like that
too. Trossard.
Yeah, I like the Saka and Diaz combo there.
Nice, and Trossard as well has been filling in for Odegaard in that cam position too, so he can maybe have one of the honourable mentions. I had Duran as an honourable.
I would have him come off my bench 100%.
Yeah,
what a beast.
Striker,
Haaland.
Any guesses? Yeah, Haaland.
Without a doubt.
You can't go past Haaland. Did you want to pick a manager? I didn't pick a manager. But this sounds very biased, but I feel like we could take Arteta.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, sure. Him or Pep.
Yeah, let's take Arteta over Pep.
If Nuno Esperanto stayed at Wolves and continued with all his Portuguese player, I would have him in that conversation. But he's had a couple weird stints in other clubs that haven't been so successful, like a stint at Tottenham and all that sort of stuff. So
yeah,
although he's doing all right this season, I just think you need someone consistent. So Pep Guardiola and Arteta looking to the goods at the moment.
I think Arteta, tactically wise, is just he's right up there with Pep, and I think Arsenal are playing exactly how he wants them to play. So he's obviously getting through the players. And Pep, we know Pep just does his thing. So,
yep.
Manager of the month,
cool.
Arteta. There
nice.
you go. So that's our team. Pretty solid team.
The only thing for me is having Mbeumo in that midfield. I understand the Enzo connection to Cole Palmer, but you talk about back-to-back 1-minute goals, both off the volley.
Yeah.
He's an exciting player. He scores early for you. Like, that's what you want. He's third highest goal scorer this season.
Okay.
That's the only thing that I slightly disagree with, but I understand why he went Enzo. But I would have Mbeumo in there.
let's forget about chemistry. We could put him in there for this. I mean,
I think he's just too exciting not to.
yeah, okay. We'll put him in there.
Cool.
Nice. So that's our team.
Just because we won 1 minute goals. That's the only
Yeah,
reason.
yeah, yeah.
We want quadruples in the first half,
to bet on
and
too.
we want the 1 minute goals.
So Cole Palmer and 1 minute goals. First half goals are exciting. We should get a graphic up of our team.
Yeah, that'd be a good graphic.
That would be a good team. That's all I have going to this weekend. We'll be back again for our odds on show on Friday, where we're gonna hopefully tip some more winners and do a little bit more of a preview on the grand final. We'll specify a bit of time for that. But was there anything else you needed to get off your chest, or anything else that's you want to get off your mind?
3-0 loss at home was pretty disappointing. Our second 3-0 loss at the Theatre of Bad Dreams.
Yeah.
I think there's questions around Eric Ten Hag. I don't want to see him get sacked, if I'm honest. I would love to see us stick it out and to get some performances together.
Yeah.
Considering we did stick with him at the end of the season. We had our opportunity not to.
Call. They made their bed.
They backed him. So
I feel like the rest of the Premier Leagues won't be too mad about that either if he does stay and can't figure it out.
Yeah. I also think the players need to have a little chat amongst themselves and figure out what's going wrong as well. Maybe just don't even include the staff. Talk amongst yourself and your performance. You had Christian Eriksen being like, "Oh, the team doesn't really want it."
Yeah,
that's bad. That's
player
your own
accountability
player.
is a massive thing, and the managers just always wear it.
Unfortunately, but if you have a player in your camp that's a veteran that's been up there, in those high-end games, and he's saying the players don't want it, that's not good. You're getting paid hundreds of thousands in pounds per week. Last 6 games, we've only managed to score 7 points. We're terrible in position. Our passing is appalling. It's apparent. The Bruno Fernandes red card. I want your opinion on that quickly too.
I actually haven't seen it.
Shocking decision. Go watch it.
Okay.
And also,
was it as bad as Declan Rice's red card?
It was on par.
Was it a straight red?
A straight red.
Okay.
Which I think is crazy because... actually, I'm not sure it was straight red. I can't remember.
I'll go and watch it, and I'll give you my opinion on Friday.
I think it was a straight red, and it's crazy. In real time, it looked kind of bad. In the replay, shocking. It should have just been a yellow, in my opinion.
Was it first half, second half?
First half.
Yellow.
40th minute.
Yellow. We can't be ruining games in the first half.
Let's say this: if they watched the replay, they wouldn't upgrade a yellow to a red for that.
Yeah.
But the fact that the ref gave the red, they're not going to overturn it. So, and also just retire the number 7 jersey.
Yeah, fair.
It's horrifically cursed.
You're not a fan, eh?
You think of the number 7 recently. Mason Mount has been the biggest scam ever as well.
I felt like we knew that going into it.
We lost Jadon Sancho, and we've got Mason Mount, who's scored 1 goal and 1 assist in 22 games.
Yep.
Retire
Sancho
the number 7.
Looking pretty good though at Chelsea.
I know he is. It sucks.
Just needed a home that wanted him.
Yeah. Also, why we gave Mason Mount the 7 jersey, I don't understand either.
Yeah,
it's just a really weird thing to do.
Operation, that.
The last good 7 was what, Edison Cavani, maybe?
Yeah.
But you think of David Beckham, Ronaldo, Cantona, George Best, and now we've got Mason Mount in the 7.
Yeah,
it doesn't fit right.
Doesn't really.
Rather retire it. Give him number 21 or something stupid, give him number 22. Don't give him 7.
Yeah. No, that's a good call. They should just hang it up on the rafters and let no one else touch it.
Yeah, just let it be.
Fair. Wow. That feel good?
No, feels bad. We're now 13th on the table. It's not great.
Oh, no. Arsenal are 3rd. Liverpool at the top of the table. City 2nd. It's good to see City not in 1st, though.
It is good.
It is good.
Unfortunately, it's Liverpool.
Yeah. Newcastle getting the job, or not getting the full job done, but
yeah,
did well. Happy days.
Looking forward to seeing City in the EPL.
Yeah, maybe even League One.
League One, League Two, maybe.
League One.
Going to play Cheltenham Town, maybe.
Yeah.
That'd be exciting.
That'd be good to see Haaland bagging 7 goals in the first half. Maybe then. That would really humble him after he told Arteta to stay humble. Playing in League One would humble him. So I feel like he needs humbling.
Yeah. But yeah, go watch that red card.
Yeah,
I'd love to know your opinion.
I'll give it to you on Friday. But that's all we've got. Happy days. Alrighty. We thank you for listening first and foremost. I feel like I don't.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Ralph. Yeah, thank you for listening. But yeah, thank you for listening, and we will see you again on Friday for some tips.
Nice.
See you then.